Hey, Charles here with Rocky Mountain, and this is part one of our engine rebuilding series for the KTM group LC8C engines. So you're gonna find these on the 790s, the 890s, and the 901s. And LC8C, it just stands for liquid cooled 8-valve compact parallel twin. Now you're gonna find these on the adventure bikes as well as the street variants like the Duke. But whatever machine you're working on, you want to reference your model specific service manual throughout the process, because the Norden 901, removing the tank and plastics, it's going to be a slightly different process. And then obviously on the 790, it's going to be a smaller displacement. So your engine specs, they are going to be different. So be aware of those items, but overall the process will be similar for any of these bikes. Now, whether you just have high mileage, you're burning oil, or maybe you're hearing some engine sounds, some of the early models had premature camshaft wear issues, whatever is going on with your bike, we're going to show you how to take care of those problems. So let's go ahead and get into it. To get this done, you're going to need some common hand tools. So that's going to include metric sockets and Allens, also some Torx bits. Now we've got sockets all the way up to 32 millimeters right here. And then we've got pliers, we've got combo wrenches, and then over on this side, you need to have a breaker bar. Some of these fasteners are going to be pretty tight. We also have a pancake jack. This one's from Drag Specialties. And then a deadbolt hammer, that's a must. We've got a couple punches as well, a pry bar, and we've got a tie down strap to help hold some things up. Other than that, obviously we have our safety glasses, rubber gloves, and some rags. And we always recommend referencing your model specific service manual throughout the process. If you need common hand tools or special tools, head on over to our website. Now this Norden has about 18,000 miles, and every one of those miles has been hard. Now recently we noticed that this bike has been burning some oil, and I also know that some dirt got past the air filter. So I'm thinking the rings are smoked. So we want to give this bike a second chance. We're going to get in there and rebuild it. With that being said, you're going to save a lot of money by doing this job yourself. So right here, we've got a breakdown of what a dealership would normally charge and how much you'd be saving. So again, you're going to save a lot of money doing it yourself. Let's get into the process. To start out, we're going to remove both seats. And then we have this battery cover that's going to pull out. Then we have the middle tank cover we're going to remove. And then 4 bolts on each side cover. And these have a few clips and they're going to pull out. Next, you want to remove your skid plate along with the engine guards. Then we have the fuel tank. We're going to start at the bottom and make sure you clean around any connectors or fuel lines before you disconnect them. I'm also going to completely remove this fuel line. Then we can remove the bolts and bushings on each side. We've got a couple vent lines on top and one high pressure line. Now with this, again, make sure it's cleaned off before you remove it. And I'm going to cap off both ends of this high pressure line to make sure absolutely no dirt gets in the system. From here, we can remove the tank. And at this point, you can see it's pretty dirty underneath here. So we're going to go ahead and do some cleaning before we continue with teardown. Now that we have everything cleaned off, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. And then we're going to remove the exhaust system. We're starting at the back. Remove the clamp and silencer. Then remove this bolt and clamp. At the front, we'll remove the 2 bolts and this bracket. We're gonna undo another electrical connector. Normally there's gonna be 2 zip ties right here that you need to cut. Ours are already cut off. Then we're gonna feed this O2 sensor through, and if you don't wanna forget how things are wired up, it's a good idea to take pictures as you disassemble so you can verify you get everything back in the same orientation as before. And just be aware there's 2 zip ties up in here that we need to free up. All right, now to remove the header. It's a really tight space. We're gonna use our 13mm socket, a swivel and swivel extension to get in there. But again, we're probably gonna have to remove this, or at least loosen up the radiator to get the zip ties back in. So if you're finding it really hard to reach these header nuts on there, you can go ahead and drain your coolant first and get this radiator out of the way. Now for the radiator, you can remove everything without loosening any hardware or swinging it forward, but that can make the job easier. So look at your manual, and I would recommend thinking about that if you want a little more access to some of these parts. We're gonna remove 1 bolt from this horn. Then we can remove the headers. Now for the pre-silencer, you have a bolt on the right side. Now to remove the pre-silencer, we do need to gain access to a couple of bolts. So we need to remove the shift linkage, the sprocket cover, and this left side foot peg bracket. We need to loosen this upper bolt in the foot peg bracket. Remove the 2 lower ones. And right behind there, you've got 1 more bolt for this kickstand bracket. And we're gonna pull that out of the way. I'm gonna hang it with a bungee, or you can just set it aside. Just make sure there's no tension on the wires. That's gonna allow us to remove both bolts for the pre-silencer. We can go ahead and slide that down and out of the way. And for now, I'm gonna temporarily reinstall the kickstand bracket and foot peg bracket. After that, we need to drain our coolant and then the engine oil. Next, we're going to remove 3 bolts for the charcoal canister. Then I'm going to undo the lower end of this radiator hose. Moving up, we've got our connection for the coil. Disconnect that. Now on the other side of the bike, I'm going to loosen the clamps on the upper and lower side of this radiator hose, and then I'll completely remove it. After that, we have 4 electrical connectors that we need to disconnect. And then we have this vent tube. I need to remove the bolt from this bracket, and we're going to pull that out. Next, we need to disconnect our clutch cable and remove this bracket. Remove the cover over the positive cable going to the starter, then remove the nut and cable. Then we're going to disconnect our coolant temp sensor and our oil pressure sensor. That's going to give us some extra room to remove the 2 bolts going into the starter. Now back to the left side of the bike, we've got a couple zip ties to cut just behind this frame. Then a few more electrical connectors to disconnect. And then we're going to be removing the countershaft sprocket. Keep track of this washer. Now on top of the airbox, we need to remove a screw and a retaining bracket. disconnect the sensor, clip 2 zip ties. Moving forward, we have 2 bolts in the battery box that need to come out. Next, I'm going to loosen up this upper hose clamp from the air box going onto the throttle body. And we have 2 bolts in the subframe. Remove both of those and then do those 3 steps on the other side. And this will put a little bit of tension on your wiring. So the manual just tells you to push it down, but we're going to remove the tension from the wiring using a tie down. And then we're trying to follow the manual as close as possible, but there's a few things you can disconnect all at once right here. We're going to undo another electrical connector. And then with this connector going into the throttle body, kind of hard to see, all you need to do to disconnect it is pop this white tab up like that, and then you can press in on it and remove the connector. Next, we're going to loosen up the lower air boot clamp. And then on the right side of the machine, we're going to disconnect the fuel injector. We also have this hose we're going to disconnect, and then we're going to loosen up this clamp as well. Now we can break the throttle bodies free. It's a good idea to lift up on this battery box. I'm actually going to place a pry bar underneath to gain some clearance. And from here we can slide the throttle body assembly out from the left side of the bike. We're going to support the engine with a pancake jack. Next, we have a wiring bracket we need to remove a bolt from. And then we're going to loosen up and remove the hardware going through this foot peg bracket and for that kickstand. Underneath the kickstand, there's one more bolt holding a wiring bracket in place. Go ahead and remove that. And then we're not going to be able to completely remove this until we drop the engine. So we're just going to set it to the side. After that, we're going to remove this cap in the frame. We just need to loosen up this bolt. Then we're going to remove the engine hanger bolt in the middle. And then we have 2 in the front. On the right side of the bike, we'll remove the 2 bolts from this bracket. And remove these 2 bolts from the front of the engine. Remove the spring. We're going to use a combo wrench on the back so we can remove the brake lever. Remove the bolts and this cover. And we can loosen up the bottom bolt, which will allow us to remove this upper bolt and free up the mount. Next, I'm going to temporarily reinstall the subframe bolts. I've got a friend helping me, and now we can remove that swing arm pivot bolt. Then I'm going to use a drift to help push that swing arm pivot bolt out most of the way. And then on this side, I don't want the swing arm dropping down all the way. So what I'm going to do is use the end of the punch, and I'm just going to barely go through the swing arm into the tab on the frame. And you don't want to be going into the mounting hole on the engine. Then on the other side, we're pulling this swing arm pivot bolt all the way out. We're doing the same thing with a punch over here. And with everything loosened up, we can get this kickstand out of the way. After that, I'm going to lower the jack. And as the engine comes down, make sure you are not catching up on anything. You might have to push this forward or back. You're going to have to twist it and pull it out from the side. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments. If you need any parts or tools for your engine, you can find that stuff on our website. Just click the link in the description below. Orders over $75 ship free. And hey, if you want to see more helpful content like this, subscribe to our channel and follow us over to video number 2. We're going to start the teardown.